Just a few weeks ago, I thought our chapter had ended for good. She was seated across from me in my modest apartment, her tone steady but resolute as she told me her emotions had shifted. There were no raised voices, no emotional breakdown, just a gentle, quiet disconnection from something we once deeply valued. She admitted she still cared, but not in the way that nourishes a lasting relationship.
I didn't protest.
I nodded silently, buried the ache inside me, and let her leave. Her truth cut deep, but I appreciated her openness. I didn't beg or try to change her mind. I simply accepted what she felt. At that moment, I was convinced we had parted ways for good. But life has its own way of reshuffling the deck. Long before she and I ever became anything more than casual acquaintances, I had been close friends with her brother. So when he sent me a text inviting me to his birthday dinner at their family home, I didn't hesitate. I accepted without overthinking it, expecting a low-key evening filled with familiar faces. A brief escape, maybe even a chance to ease the weight I'd been carrying. I wasn't bracing for any emotional waves, just aiming for a night where I could blend into the background and feel normal again. As soon as I stepped into their house, I saw her. She was in the corner of the living room, laughing softly with a small group of friends. Our eyes met. For a split second, her expression froze, then she gave a polite, restrained smile before turning away. It felt like a silent agreement to remain cordial. I matched her energy, pretending it didn't affect me, and made my way straight to her brother. We exchanged jokes, caught up like old times, and I kept telling myself I was okay, that her presence didn't shake me. The evening moved along without incident. The house hummed with soft music and conversations, and the tables overflowed with homemade dishes. It wasn't some loud celebration, just a cozy gathering of relatives and close companions. I tried to focus on the moment, but my eyes kept finding her, involuntarily. She looked composed, maybe too composed, like she was trying to mask her unease. I couldn't stop wondering if she felt the same strange tension I did. Did echoes of our past still whisper to her? Or was that just my imagination replaying old hopes? As the evening unfolded, one of her friends wandered over to where I was chatting. I remembered her vaguely from when we were still a couple, though we never had a real conversation. This time, she struck one up. She complimented my coat, which somehow snowballed into a lively back and forth about classic films, travel memories, and all sorts of everyday randomness. She was quick-witted, much more than I'd realized before, and for the first time in a long while, I felt my guard loosen. Her humor drew me out of the fog, and I allowed myself to enjoy it. Just for that moment, the weight lifted a little. Then, unexpectedly, she made a teasing remark that shifted everything. With a mischievous smile, she glanced toward my ex and said, "You never mentioned your ex was this charming in person." I was in mid-laugh when her words registered, and suddenly, the sound caught in my throat. I looked toward my ex. She definitely heard it. Her smile faltered for just a heartbeat before she forced a strained laugh and leaned closer to someone beside her. But the change was obvious. Her relaxed demeanor stiffened, and something behind her eyes dimmed. From then on, she seemed unsettled, gripping her phone too tightly, floating between conversations like she wasn't really there. Whatever comfort she had earlier wore off, replaced by visible discomfort. I hadn't meant to throw her off balance. I was just existing, being myself. But her reaction was unmistakable. She kept her distance for the rest of the night, drifting through the room like she was trying not to cross paths with a ghost. I stayed rooted, talking with her friend and others, but I noticed her subtle glances. Fleeting, calculated, like she was reevaluating something she thought she'd figured out. Maybe she assumed I'd collapse without her. Maybe she pictured me stuck in time, waiting for her return. But I hadn't done that. Quietly, I had been putting the pieces back together, reclaiming who I was, growing stronger. And perhaps now, for the first time, she saw that. But it was too late. As the night wound down and guests began to leave, she passed by near the door. Our eyes locked briefly. No words, just a moment suspended in silence. There was something unfamiliar in her expression. Not longing, but not detachment either. Maybe it was regret. Maybe it was the sting of watching someone else recognize the value she'd once overlooked. I didn't pause. I gave a small, calm nod and stepped out into the crisp night air. As I walked away, a deep, quiet clarity settled inside me. She had made her choice, to let love slip away, and that was hers to own. But when another person saw in me what she let go, she couldn't quite hide how that truth unsettled her. And that, more than anything, spoke volumes.